Got
All
the
right.
seat where I go all the way back now.
See,
Here
I
we
always
go.
make sure mine is tightened before I sit in
I'm
this chair.
front and center,
man.
just
Yeah.
right
So,
here.
I feel like those astronauts the other day on Blue Origin,
When you're
like
just leaning
when
back.
you're just like when I'm leaning back here.
Jenny
yeah.
needs a lounge chair with her pineapple cup.
Exactly.
know.
It's a special edition that I got like 7-8 years ago when my family went to Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
I
It's a
was not
Starbucks
part
thing.
of the trip.
Oh.
That's why I got a little cup
Gotcha.
instead.
It's like a
Take that to the
sorry
floor.
you're not here. It's like a
But here's a
postcard.
cup.
Miss you, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your
It makes up for it.
poolside sipper?
Yes. When I actually do go in the pool.
Oh, which will be very soon if you miss sunrise. Jenny said, with the 80s and nearing 90, it's a great time to get in the pool. Yeah, I'd love for Jenny to stick her toe in a pool right now.
I love the jacuzzi right now,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
I'm
that's
never going to
fine.
hear the end of this
No, you
until
won't.
I prove myself and
Yep.
actually go in the pool.
Yep.
Well, if I do, we'll be sure it makes it on after sunrise.
Right?
I'm not joking. We will talk about it. But Kevin and I will not forget this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll check in with
I
you.
don't do the polar bear plunge either.
I don't either, but I guess I
Sounds
signed
like you
myself
want
up
to.
for one.
So we were just talking a little bit, a bit ago, on 17 News at Sunrise about this human book chain, right? So we were just talking about it just like 2 minutes ago. So take a look at this. So this happened in Chelsea, Michigan. So basically there was this bookstore, Serendipity Books, that was outgrowing its location. So they needed to move to a bigger space around the corner. And they put the call out there like, hey, like, if it's possible, if there's any people who can come by and help us move, that'd be great. 300 people between the ages of 6 and 91 showed up, created this chain, and they moved thousands of books. We're talking about over 9,000 books and boxes. And they moved it all from one store to the next to restock the shelves and move into this bigger location. And they didn't have to shut down. This, I think, is so amazing. You're talking about a little bookstore, community bookstore.
Yep.
And
It even
they
looks like
came
Old
together.
Town nostalgia
Yeah.
as well. So if you're looking for a good community to move to, well, sounds
Go
like
here.
Chelsea,
And
Michigan.
it took them less than 2 hours to get this done.
Yeah, it's really cool to see.
What a page turner of a story.
Oh man! All right, how many more puns can we get out
we
of
can
you?
make so many good book
Oh,
puns
for sure,
about this.
for sure.
But I
Oh
could
my
see
God.
I could see Bakersfield doing something like
Yeah.
this as
Oh
well.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But so the reason why I love this story, though,
Here we go.
right? Here we go.
There you go. Story.
Story is because I feel like books are having. I'm talking physical books.
Yes.
They're having a moment.
Oh yeah.
They're having a moment in culture, which actually leads me to my next story because, and I want to reiterate, I love small bookstores, right? Barnes and Noble, of course, is the big one, and they're making a comeback
Oh really?
to the point where they are
Wow.
getting ready to open 60 new locations
Oh, geez.
We have one
across the
location
country.
here, right?
One.
In
We
Bakersfield.
We have one
Okay.
location.
and it's
yeah.
pretty big,
It's on California.
right?
It's right by
Marie Callender's.
Marie Callender's, yeah.
And Alex, you and I were actually just talking about how when I first moved to Bakersfield, because I love, buying. Reading takes a little longer for me, but I just love physical books. And I was talking
Physical
to you,
books.
Physical books, emphasis on physical. And I was telling you, I was kind of sad to see we didn't have as many local bookstores here
Mm-hmm.
in town. But you mentioned one. What was it?
Russo's.
Russo's.
We used to have Russo's.
No, we
Oh,
still
we
do.
still do? I thought they had closed.
They
no?
closed the big location at Marketplace.
Okay.
Oh,
So they have a
gotcha.
smaller location?
They're in a smaller location off Newstein.
News-
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so we
So-
do have that, but just
great.
local bookstores are great. I'm glad Barnes and Nobles is, making a comeback. But
Yeah.
again, local bookstores, there's something about it.
So listen to this, and this kind of I think illustrates the trend, that where we're heading. So Barnes and Noble said that they opened up more locations last what?
I yawned.
Oh,
You're right on camera.
so Barnes and Noble said that they opened more locations last year in 2024 alone, more locations last year than they did in the decade from 2009 to 2019.
I feel like that was like the Kindle decade, though.
It
Probably,
was. No,
right?
it was.
Right.
It absolutely was. And the Kindle decade had a moment.
Yeah.
But what happened was I think that there was a lot of people who you're seeing. I mean, I'm even starting to do more and more of this. I prefer vinyl. I love vinyl music. I love you start connecting more with these physical, like these physical things, you know? I love handwritten notes.
Yeah, no, I'm a big stationery gal.
I mean, there's something special about receiving. So my cousin, actually, my aunt and my cousin, they're really big about birthday cards. They never, or holiday cards. They never miss holidays, birthdays, special occasions. Always send a card.
Physical.
A physical card. Nothing special. A lot of the times it's just like, you know, generic, but there's always a little note in there. By the way, I'm very close with my aunt and cousins. I text and call them all the time. I'm in constant contact with them, yet there's still something special about receiving a physical note in the mail.
Yeah. And I would say I'm horrible at that.
I'm terrible at it.
I love it.
I'm terrible at it too, but I want to be more, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, I want to be more like
personable.
Yeah, and more like direct, and like take time out of my day to write, you know, letters and intentional. That's what I was looking for. Sorry, I've been up all night. More intentional on doing these things because A, it doesn't take that much time, and B, it can make a huge difference. When I get a little note from someone,
brightens up your day.
It sticks with me for days. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
And so I think it goes back to even like what I was saying before, just the physicality of like music. There's something special about putting on a record and going through all of the songs in order. You can't just select the ones that you want. It's just...
Yeah, I think you're right. There is something to say about a note to somebody, you know. Yeah, even taking like a sticky note and writing a message to your spouse and sticking it on the mirror when they wake up in the morning if you leave early or whatever, you know, makes a big difference.
30 seconds.
Instead of a text message or whatever, write a little note, stick it on the mirror, or you know, stick it above the toilet, or
also think about,
you know,
that's very specific.
I'm just saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
Right.
No, I know what you're
you
saying.
know, they're maybe not expecting
right
on the
here.
microwave.
Little snippets everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And also, like on physical cards, think about the options you have. You can literally walk into a Target or any grocery store, and for occasions like Easter, Valentine's Day, the wall and racks are just full of options you have.
Well, I think people have backed off a little bit because I'm going to be honest with you, cards are expensive.
They can
They
be.
are.
Yeah.
It is crazy how some... I'm glad that you brought that up, Kev, because the other day there was someone they were going through a difficult time. I wanted to get a sympathy card, and so bought one. $9.
Yeah.
It was $9. It was $8.99. And now, granted, I will say there were cheaper options. Okay, at the place that I got this at, it was like a convenience store, drugstore.
But to get a good card, you can't get a good card for under $6.
You get a basic card that like it's just, you know, whatever. It's like $4.99.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can't. So, but what I have done is in December, I think, I went and bought just some generic thank you cards for like, I don't know, like $15, $20 or something like that.
And you get like 50 of them or something?
Yeah, or something like that. Just to have on hand so that I can just quickly, you know, if I need to, write something. And
you can do those for special occasions too, like even online on Amazon. Like for me, during the holidays, I like to give my coworkers handwritten cards. And so what I do is I go on Amazon and I get kind of 2 different stacks of like a pack of 30 or 40, and it's cheaper.
It's just good to have.
Yeah, it's good to have. It comes in handy. You can use it
And
any
they don't need to be
holiday.
fancy either.
Exactly.
You know, to be honest, I just got a handwritten card from our news director the other day about something. And I was like, oh, what a nice gesture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think those things go a long way, you know.
I mean, it's one thing to get something in an email,
Appreciate it.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like easy. Because what is an email? It's all convenient, right? And like, I think in the back of our mind, we're always going, yeah, we know it's convenient. We know it's convenient to send out an email and, you know, send it out. And it's like, okay, thanks. Like, that's nice. Like, appreciate it. And then it's like you just kind of move on. You forget, right?
Yeah.
But there, again, it's that when you're reading something, it's like you're connecting with it more.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a book. And there's a difference between reading a book like this and then turning the page.
I know, highlighting,
connecting
marking.
I know this might sound weird, but like connecting with the text, connecting with the book, instead of just like the convenience of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's huge.
and going back to bookstores, they're fun date places. I will say, no, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Because you can spend hours and hours in a bookstore and just go through books and yeah.
Sometimes some bookstores have
What?
cafes inside.
I would.
And
I guess.
it depends on the
What
bookstore
do you find that
too.
is that boring?
Slightly.
Okay, we
Oh.
have preferences. We each
But,
have
but then
preferences.
again, I'm not a major reader, so going through a bookstore for a date, But hey, that might be a great date spot for some people.
If your partner can, you need to know your partner, but you can get it's like a whole new world. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is just getting like just a.
But I see your point. You can go
Yeah.
down the aisles and look at this book, or you can talk about the different books you're seeing.
Yeah.
So I get it. I just never thought about that.
It's fun
being a
going
date spot.
through. It's fun going through the. Bear with me, okay? Bear with me. It's fun going through the children's book section, and because there's nostalgia all wrapped up in the children's book section, and reminiscing on because those books are still being printed.
Dr.
Right.
Seuss.
Well, I mean that's one example, but those
Clifford, the big red dog.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
but the books are still being printed to this day, and so it really is like it just. I mean some titles that I hadn't thought about for years, and you look back and it's just like it takes you back to a certain
Yeah.
class or a certain moment.
Yeah.
And
That is a good idea.
some bookstores have like cafes or like you can kind of wine and
Yeah, Barnes and
or
Noble,
sip
you get a
on
cup
wine
of coffee.
and read too,
that's-
right?
Yeah.
So I feel like when you have kind of extra activities like that in a bookstore, it can kind of make the date, become more interesting or more active. You have more to do with your partner.
I've talked about it before, but like I love going to there's a wine bar here in downtown Bakersfield where because we get off in the afternoon. There's something special about like grabbing a book, and what I'll do is I'll go to this wine bar in downtown Bakersfield, and I'll get a glass before I head home, and I'll sit there and read, and just and it's just very relaxing, and it transports you to out of reality. It transports you to somewhere else, and it really is kind of just it's great. It's fun, and I think we're just seeing more and more people value books, which is great. Which, by the way, there's a huge push years ago to get more people to read, right? To get people to read, to lose themselves in.
Society
in
just
stores.
needs to slow down a little bit. When I was a kid, reading was a big deal.
I think
It's all we had. We didn't have computers. We didn't have smartphones when I was a kid. You're
Yeah.
either outside or you're on the couch maybe reading a book, or you didn't have a tablet. You didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
Now things have evolved, and so books have been put on the bottom shelf.
And also not only
Not for everybody.
I think of course, and I think you're right though. Like we need to slow down, but it's also going hand in hand with that is not these short. I mean, there's nothing wrong with short stories and short bits, but immersing yourself it's almost like you're giving yourself to a story or a book that may be several hundred pages. Where you can it's like a slow, like you can just, really read each and every word. It can take you weeks, months to go through a book, but it's like you become part of that. And we're so used to reading just like small little bits, like small articles, short articles,
Yeah.
Captions, right? We feel as though if we see a picture and a caption that's one or two sentences, well, we've got the whole story there. And then what do? We move on to the next thing.
And I don't know if you both feel this as well, but I feel like for us as journalists, because our whole job and day-to-day revolves around reading and writing, sometimes I find it hard to just go home and read all over again. I know it's completely different, right? Like for me, I cover politics, so if I
you're
read
reading stuff all day long.
right, if
Even
I read,
at home, you're doing your homework.
Exactly. So if I read fiction at home, I know it's different from covering politics, but still sometimes I feel like it's hard to focus on words the entire day. I don't know if either of you feel that too.
I don't read
But-
as much, as somebody like you in politics, but I could totally see your point of view.
Yeah.
You're reading political stuff all day long, and you want to go home and give your
Do more
eyes and
reading.
brain a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes I'm guilty of just laying there in bed and
Right.
going on YouTube. But I do love a good book. And you know where a great place to read is?
Where?
The poolside.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Going
there
back to
is
the
something.
pool.
There is something about that. Yeah.
Just a cup
Relaxing
of water,
outside.
coffee when
Yeah.
the sun's out and
Yep.
you're just sunbathing and just reading a book.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about it.
How often do you do that?
Well, now I can do it more now that it's
'Cause the
actually
weather
warmer,
is-
right?
yeah.
And on the weekends too, it's hard for me because I'm not usually sunrise, right? I'm day side, meaning
Yeah.
I work 9 to 6, 6:30, so it's either too early and the sun's not up, fully out yet, or it's the sun's setting,
Yeah.
right? So I try to find that happy medium. Just sometime I can do that.
Take a
but
little bit of time.
Exactly, but now that the sun's setting later, right? We got weekends that are warming up, so I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to doing
that's
that.
right. All right, since we were just talking about fun date places and one of them being the
Bookstore.
bookstore, which again, just give it a shot. Give it a shot. It's fun. But there's a new trend that is also going on in the dating world, and it is that there are more and more people who are dating or not dating someone based on their astrology sign.
Oh yeah, that is a big thing.
So you're seeing this on dating apps more and more. It's becoming more and more like actually important, not just fun for people, but like important. And so, there's the debate right now on whether or not you will. Look, listen to this: 74% of millennials and Gen Zers will check their potential partner's zodiac sign before proceeding with the relationship.
So are they trying to align with, let's say, like, I'm a Gemini, so you align with a Gemini, or
It is, so again, it goes back to like, what your sign is.
Yeah.
So I'm an Aries, right?
what's compatible with them?
What's
Exactly.
compatible with that? Or if I am, like I'm an Aries, what am I looking for? What is off-putting to me that some other signs, some other people may, like their signs may lead to certain characteristics and so forth.
And there are also so many funny social media posts that are like, "Oh, your type of partner based off your sign," or something like
Okay.
that. And it's kind of like, it's funny conversations that I'll have with my friends too, like, "Oh, he's a Virgo," or "Oh, she's a Pisces," like automatic red flag, automatic green flag, just funny conversations like that.
Funny conversations for most people,
Right.
right? For most people.
Most people.
But 1 in 3 people surveyed said that is an actual deal breaker, a 100%
Really? Wow.
non-negotiable deal breaker.
Wow.
Meaning that if you could be as compatible, you could think that you are just as compatible as me, but if you are not aligned with, your astrology signs, 1 in 3 people say they will end the relationship right there.
What?
Right then
Okay.
and there. Yeah.
That's insane.
So relation, this is not going to be any surprise here. Relation experts say, have fun with it. You should absolutely have fun with it. It's kind of a fun way to talk and see, how much of it is true and so forth. But be mindful that like, you might want to really give yourself just a second to think about whether or not you should end a relationship based on that being the sole factor. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ending this relationship because your astrology sign, your zodiac sign is this, and mine is this.
Wow, I can't believe people actually do that, because like for me, it's again more of a funny conversation. You just throw it out there and chuckle. We don't take it seriously, right?
But 1 in 3 people do.
Wow.
1 in 3 people with millennials and Gen
Gen Z.
Zers.
Yeah.
With millennials and Gen Zers, 1 in 3 people. So again, you're looking at like 33%. 33% of people will end a relationship based on their potential partner's zodiac sign.
I've never even thought of.
I know. I mean, good
Science.
for them. Do what makes you comfortable, you know?
I-
Do what makes you comfortable.
It is a-
But
it is-
don't shortchange yourself.
Right.
Don't shortchange yourself.
Try it out. Have fun. Like
But
you
what I have
said.
found is it's a great icebreaker. It is a great icebreaker. It's, when you don't really know where to start the conversation, you can start there because, well, if 33% of the time it actually means something, that means that 66% of the time.
Okay, my question is, has that ever came up with you guys?
Yes.
What?
On a date?
Yeah.
Oh my.
What, like talking like zodiac signs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Really?
You've never talked to someone about
No.
like their zodiac sign?
No, I honestly, like, maybe I just don't find that as interesting.
It is a. I want to be very clear. I am not one of the 33%.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. I don't even necessarily go and look for it. If it comes up though, it's always a fun conversation starter. Like it's always fun to just say, so what are you?
I'm a Gemini.
Okay, so if I didn't know, and what are you?
Virgo.
Okay, so like it's just like if I didn't really know you, and you know, I don't know, you're trying to think of things to say, like, oh, so you're a Virgo? Oh, I'm an Aries. So like, what makes you like? What do you think really makes you a Virgo? You know, you can, and that's how you can start.
So
it's like it's a good. I find it is a good springboard if you don't have other things to draw from, right?
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I'm curious what's compatible with what? Like, is Gemini compatible with Gemini?
See, some people automatically know that or are invested enough to know it. I don't personally.
So there's, I mean, come on. It's like do you know your house? Your Harry Potter house?
Oh, I think I'm a Slytherin.
Do you know?
I've never even heard of this.
Like, what is
What is
it?
my Harry Potter house?
Slytherin.
So Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and Ravenclaw.
Okay, this is for all the Harry Potter fans.
I guess I'm just too old.
I was
I am-
Percy
I don't know.
Jackson.
So I am.
How do I even find out?
So you can take a test.
You can take a quiz.
I will give you a test. I will give you a test. It's like 5-10 minutes or something.
I am not spending 10 minutes to figure out what Harry Potter house I'm in.
If it's for work though, then. So I'm a Slytherin.
Okay.
But my Patronus is a. Can you guess, or you don't know this far?
Hufflepuff?
No.
Oh, I see. I don't know this far. I was Percy Jackson.
So I'm a Slytherin, but my Patronus is a lion.
Oh.
So, and Kevin's over here going,
I am so
what the heck
lost.
is going on over here?
I'm like half lost.
I have a house and it's on the west side of town. And
Not affiliated with
So-
magic.
My house is in Bakersfield.
right.
Yeah. So what that means is, and I think we're honestly, Kev, you're probably a Slytherin too. It's like it's people who are. I think a lot of people are. You're very determined. It's very like a lot of people, like I would say, even in our industry, tend to be more Slytherin. It's just like the determination, right? Like you have to be very determined people. There are, I think it's Ravenclaws who are more peacemakers, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, but like Gryffindor and Slytherin
I should
are.
just go get my phone and look it up and
We
take
could
the
talk.
test.
No, we'll follow up with you tomorrow. But you won't be here. But
10 minutes, I'll never
Feel
get back.
excluded.
yeah, well, no. Again, it's fun to know. But that's another conversation starter too. So, like for example, in the movies, you have everyone thinks it's the Slytherin is at war with Gryffindor, and the movies portray that, of course, in Harry Potter. But actually, there's a lot of similarities between Gryffindor and Slytherin. And they can complement each other. And so, Gryffindors are very brave. Like, they're very brave. They're also very determined as well.
On the topic of dating, you might be more familiar with this, kind of the Gen Z relationship of a situationship.
Okay.
Have you heard of situation?
not.
You've heard of situation.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of these things I learned from people who are in the station. I've been married for almost 10 years.
Right.
So
What do you think a situationship is? What does it sound
A
like?
what?
A situationship.
What would you, yeah, actually, for
we have
someone
a
who doesn't
situation
know.
in my relationship that needs to be discussed.
Okay, no, okay. So a situationship is you think it is a relationship, but it's not, you haven't defined it.
Right.
And so you're really not
Committed,
you're not committed.
essentially.
You haven't made a commitment to someone, but you're doing everything that partners would do in a relationship,
Right.
but you haven't made the commitment. And so
Okay,
it
that's
begs
a
the question.
slippery slope there.
So dating without labels, essentially.
Yeah.
So you're dating, but you're dating.
You're dating, but you're not.
You're
Yeah,
dating,
yeah,
but you're not,
exactly.
and you can look at other relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as
You're just not committed.
It's just, it's an uncommitted relationship.
Yeah.
But
So
it's more than
you're-
just saying you're in an open relationship.
There you go,
because
open relationship.
Because an open relationship means that both parties agree that they're in an open relationship.
Yeah.
There's still the discussion that has taken place,
So
right?
what's this one? We're in a
The-
relationship.
very
You don't know.
ambiguous.
It's very ambiguous,
But you-
meaning
You turn a blind eye,
You
essentially.
kind of turn a blind, exactly, and
Yeah.
you
It's an
don't
open
know.
relationship.
But the
It's-
thing is an open
it's
relationship
hard.
you have to discuss. An open relationship means that both parties involved are saying we're in an open
So the
relationship.
one you're saying we're not technically saying that is,
You
but
could-
you can sneak away and
a
I can sneak away.
situationship is more like a
like, what are we? It's always the what are we. I feel like
what
open
are we like one
relationships-
person might be like it comes down to also like you don't want to be vulnerable with the other person because you don't want to get into you fear rejection, right? Like one person may be like, I'm really into you, but I don't want to like scare you or run you off, and like I want a serious relationship with you, but I don't want to bring this up because I'm afraid that you could get scared off. While the other person may say, I like you, I like kind of hanging out, but like I don't want a committed relationship, and I feel like if I say that, you're gonna run off. So it's you both just kind of like just don't bring it up.
You're scared of responsibility.
Relationships are confusing these days.
I know. See, this is why we can't find love, Kevin.
This is
Alex and I are like situation.
It's very interesting.
It's not fun. I would say situationships are a red flag. Have you heard that? Like red flag, green flag?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. See, that terminology you're more familiar with, but I don't know. It's on the topic of dating. I had to bring it up because I feel like situationships are just so common, so widely talked about in the dating world right now.
Okay.
Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
But it is becoming more and more
popular.
I wouldn't say popular is the wrong word. It's just dating is interesting, and what I have found is with friends and family who have been out of the dating scene for a while are just, and I don't mean this in a rude way, they are so beyond confused, and to the point of like, what? Like, what do you mean this is the? Because dating always changes, right? Like dating styles and all that stuff, it changes throughout time. But it is so funny to just to like, you know, there's just dating is different. Online dating is different.
Yeah.
I mean, when I don't have the dating apps anymore, but you know, a couple of years ago, I had the dating apps, and just seeing like friends and family, like every once in a while, I was like, oh yeah, like you can look at this, and they'd be like, what is
who
this?
Are
like,
you?
What is this like?
Especially with technology nowadays, and you know, like you said, the dating apps and stuff like that. You know, back when I was dating, you know, we had Blackberries.
Oh, see, I just miss the days where it was like simple, like you like me, I like you, we're in a relationship, we're committed to each other. But no, there are all these red flags, yellow flags, even gray areas, situationships. I can rant for days.
And the thing is that's the common.
Yeah.
That's like the norm.
It's not popular, it's just common.
That's actually, I'm glad that you said that. It's
Yeah.
not popular. It's not popular. Everyone hates it, but it's like the common denominator.
Gotcha.
So everyone bonds over it.
Yeah.
And everyone is just like, or my favorite is like when someone's like, yeah, I'm in a situationship, and we talk about how we hate situationships, but we're in a situationship.
Oh my goodness.
And so it's
I learned
painful,
something new
Kevin.
today. Situationships. Okay. So
Yeah.
if I ever hear that, now I kind of understand what that is.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The best way to put it is you can understand that it's just absolute chaos and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you feel like it's just chaos and doesn't make sense, you know what a situationship
Yeah.
is.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kevin's on the board on the fence of saying interesting and no comment / I have so much to say.
I really don't. I'm like, it's confusing.
Once the
But-
cameras stop rolling, we're going to have a kind of a breakdown session.
But like, I mean, even how people are meeting people at bars or restaurants and stuff, that's changed. You know, that's changing, and it's just like, you know, it's all
up to us to endure
It's all very, very different. I will say, at the end of the day, it does make it very interesting.
Yeah. But at
So-
what cost?
I say, before we go, find someone to go to a bookstore with and walk around.
Try
and,
that day.
And have a cup of
and
coffee.
have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much for joining us for After Sunrise. Of course, you can join us tomorrow morning on 17 News at Sunrise, starting at 5 a.m. Then we'll be back right here on KGT.com at 7 a.m. Enjoy your Wednesday, everyone.